All right, Jules, I'm going to go further with this, okay? Because I think there's going to be an inflection point. We watched Liverpool and Manchester City on Sunday. Those are two of the very best teams in the world. Play some of the most entertaining football in the world, spectacle. And we saw what happened in that last half hour. As good as the first hour was, the last half hour was really poor.
Yeah, working football. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not going to make an excuse for people. But at some point, we've created this system which is so absurd, where from not just a player's health perspective, but a quality of the product perspective, where we're forcing people to play a bazillion games. And this is even before the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Because they play so many games, the managers have a lot less time to coach.
Yeah.
They had no preseason this year, right? So they can't go and teach. And it seems weird to me that, we're playing Klopp and Pep 10 million, 12 million, 15 million a year, right? So that they can go and they can teach their philosophy of football, their style of football. But then they don't have any time to teach it to their players, right?
That's true.
Because look, we all know, we've been around footballers, right? A typical week, right? You play Saturday, Sunday you either have a warm down or it's off, right? Monday you go in and you have a walkthrough for your Champions League game on Tuesday, right? Wednesday you come back, you have a warm down. Thursday is the one day a week that you can actually do some training because Friday you're prepping for the next game. Now, how are you supposed to go and teach and work and do the job that you are highly paid for?
Yeah, you're right. And it's funny because I interviewed Timo Werner the other day before the Rennes game in the Champions League. And we were talking about Edouard Mendy and joking, and I said, oh, by the way, he's so good. Can you even score at training against him? And he goes, we don't do shooting drills. We can't. We don't have, this is not what we do. All our sessions are recovering, preparing. And I was like, wow. So even that part of the game, even Frank Lampard can't really do shooting drills with the strikers because there's no time for that. And I just think this is crazy because you still ask for the same level of performances. Right. We all, I think, quite demanding in what we want to see, and then you can't have it because they don't have the time to prepare to work on things. Yesterday on the show, on the FC show, Stuart Robson made a really good point about Liverpool high line, defensive high line, saying, to play such a high line, you need to work really hard every day with that back four so they understand each other so well, almost like can play with their eyes closed and can step up when needed or drop when needed. But if they're either all injured or you play every 3 days, you can't have time to work on that.
No, and you can imagine how that's even magnified for the national teams, right?
Oh yeah, even worse.
Where it looks like these guys just met. It's harder to explain why Varane and Ramos have been so bad for Real Madrid, where they've had a lot of practice. But
many years together.
So I think at some point, this is going to hurt the product. And I've said this before. And for me, I think top flights should go down to 16 teams. 18 at a push, enough of the League Cup, this kind of nonsense. The problem is, though, when you take away official fixtures, and by the way, this whole argument is going to come up when they settle the calendar after 2024, when the national match calendar, it's a free-for-all. These are the negotiations that they're having right now, because in the next 6 to 12 months, they're going to have to sort this out. But whenever you reduce the number of fixtures, then, in normal times, non-pandemic times, the club says, ooh, let's go on tour. Let's go and play a friendly here. Let's go do that. Let's go do that.
But the Clubs World Cup and the new format,
right,
with 24 clubs, this is not going to help.
No, I don't have a problem with that, personally, because I think I want to see elite clubs play each other. And in that situation, they would have proper preparation. It's after the season. They would have a build-up to it. They get time off and whatever. I have less of an issue with that.
But it's more games for players, Gab, though. And always for the same players. The top players who already have so many games with the national team.
And that's why I'm wondering, and I remember floating this to the people at FIFPro, and I know that there'd be little details to figure out. But you know how airline pilots, for example, they can't fly a plane unless they get X amount of hours in between, right? What if you implemented a rule like this? And you'd have to get together with doctors and sports scientists and whatever. But maybe it's something that you can only play X amount of minutes in your previous 12 months. whether of matches, whether it's friendlies, whether it's internationals, whatever, right? And you'd figure out some sort of way to allocate it so that when you start getting close to that limit, if I'm your club manager, I say, oh, look, I can't play him. I look back to see what he did a year ago. Okay, he played 90 minutes there. Okay, so I keep him out this week and then I regain those minutes or whatever. Something like that, I think would help and maybe would be necessary just from a player safety, a player safeguarding perspective. And I think it would be in the economic interest of people as well. Look, you and I we're very sick people, right? We've got this disease called football, right?
Yeah,
we will watch anything, you especially.
Yeah,
right?
you too.
But we watch because it's the brands, right?
Yeah.
What we saw in that last half hour, Liverpool and Man City, there was the Liverpool brand against the Man City brand, and so we watched it. But that's not what Liverpool looks like, and that's not what Manchester City looks like. And at some point, I think it's going to end up hurting the product if they don't figure something out.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.